game. In 5.
Hey, welcome. It's another one of our Slant Alpha adventures, and it's the Virtual USA Flying Club Relay Race. I was trying to get the stream started a little bit before noon so that we could catch the Virtual USA Flying Club briefing. However, they've kind of started talking in that channel, so let me go ahead and bring that channel in. And our hosts, Luke and Jet Pilot Cinnamon, will let you know what's going on. Hang on one second. We get that. Hang on. I'm going to get that voice channel into the thing here.
You know, I mean, if it was F1, I'd say go for it, but
the safety is the #1 priority in this competition here.
They've just
right?
decided
that
we're not allowed to play defense on this relay race.
Can I get cleared
Talk
to
about
land
more about
via
what
the
this relay
taxiway
race is
to
in just a
Harrison
moment.
Ford landing?
And then I've got a
Hey Josh, is
couple
anyone
of
on
twists.
Myrtle Beach or
I am
Grand
teamed up with MelvinLeroy
It doesn't
it's
appear
not
to be
what-
any
Who is
ATC at this time, so right now we'll use the
at
CTAS
the starting
frequency
line,
as
ready to
appropriate.
go.
Make sure you are connected to the VATSIM network, and
But,
everyone please make sure to file VFR flight plans.
But our host Luke, you
Grant,
can
I will
hear
see you on the
the
network.
chatter going on. Our host Luke will give you the rundown of
You
what
don't
the
see me
race
on the
entails,
I don't
and
see
then
you
as
on the
soon as
network.
they are finished, I will
Unless VATSPY is having a conniption.
let you
I
know
can-
what
I
little
can see
twists
him on
I'm
there.
adding into it.
Oh, okay.
I just reconnected.
Into the
so
chat, we got JJ. We got 26.2.
Right.
We got Dusk PD. Welcome, guys. Talk more to you in just a moment.
Luke,
I am
I hope
actually,
you're
while the
ready.
briefing's
You're gonna
going on, I'm
have
going to finish up
briefing
my
out in 7
lunch here
minutes so
since
that
it's
Brent can take off.
since it's a rather healthy lunch. It's
All
I can
yours.
take up mid-brief. It's all right.
a buffalo Brussels sprouts. So
All
it's a
right. All
rather healthy
yours,
lunch. So I'm not embarrassed to eat it online or while in front of you guys.
All right, let me see if I can.
So here we go. I'll let Luke take the helm on what we're doing today.
All right, everyone see that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, welcome everyone to the first, hopefully soon to be annual Virtual USA Flying Club Relay Race. First, I want to thank Mike and also Josh for helping get this event together. I had this idea a few months back, and they jumped in and supported me in making it happen. So thanks, guys. So the start times have been posted in the Discord channel. I think everyone saw that for the event. As I said in that post, you are not allowed to start your takeoff roll before that time, but you could get lined up, you can get your brakes set, you can get your engine up if you want. The only thing is you can't release those brakes until that time. And please use that clock that I have linked also in that message so that we're all on the same clock there. That should be this one right here.
I won't have to worry about the clock. I'm doing the second leg, so I don't have to worry about the clock.
So use that clock to determine your start time, and then once everyone's in the air, the only rule is, per the briefing document here, the only rule for the handoff is that both pilots have to simultaneously be on the ground at the handoff airport at some time. And so, I mean, obviously, otherwise, as Mike said, you guys want to follow proper safety procedures. If your airport only has one runway, you want to be clear of the runway before someone else enters. But otherwise, the only rule is that your wheels have to be touching the ground at the same time for both pilots at some point. So the finish line is in the air at pattern altitude. Runway 1735 will be the finish line, but that doesn't mean that you're landing on that runway. That means you're flying perpendicular to that runway at pattern altitude. And so I've got a little flight plan shown here. So this is the approach you'll fly, where you'll fly perpendicular to runway 1735 at pattern altitude. You'll fly over the airport. And then everyone can coordinate on CTAF, as it looks like it'll probably be for landing, unless we have tower control at that time. But then Josh will be on ground to welcome you guys and get you headed to parking. All right.
And real quick, per the Jacksonville ATIS and SOP, the winds are variable at the moment, so it looks like runway 17 will be the landing runway. So you'll be crossing, as he said, and then circle back around to land 17.
Okay, thanks, Josh. Otherwise, I don't think I have anything else that I need to go over. Those are all the rules. Remember, if at any time, if you want to double check, you can always come back to this document, which is linked in, if you go to the calendar for the club, it's linked there, but then also, I think Mike dropped it at the beginning of the event channel. So you guys can always go back there and check it. So yeah, any questions?
Take that as no questions. Just again, there's no ATC at Myrtle right now. Just be mindful of that. The CTAF frequency for Myrtle Beach for the people that are doing the first leg is 128.45 on the CTAF. Make sure you're connected to the VATSIM network. Make sure you have a VFR flight plan filed, please, so that people know that this is Virtually Safe Flying Club. For those that are anchoring the second leg, again, make sure it's on the honor system, so make sure you're abiding by the rules and do the best you can in terms of being at the traffic pattern altitude, crossing the finish line. And again, it's the giveaway, which is going to be eligible for the 3 teams that I'm not on. It's going to be randomly drawn as long as your team finishes. And I'm going to make sure that Josh lets me know that the team's finished appropriately to make sure that they get into the drawing. But the winning team will get all the pride, and they will be announced accordingly in the Discord. So there is some form of self-gratification, I guess, for being the team that finishes first. So fly fast, but fly safe, and watch your fuel consumption.
And Melvin and I promise not to gloat too much.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, Sean, I remember when you whipped me at the Stoll competition like 4 years ago. I've had this date circled on my calendar for 4 years, but I'm coming for you.
You think about me all the time. I don't even know who you are.
Oh, boy.
Robin's ready to be in the air, right?
Safety first. All right, at this point, what do we got? We got 1 more minute roughly before team Navianche is in the air. Navianche? How did you guys pronounce it?
Navianche.
Gotta
My
put the little
girlfriend
accent
can tell
in
you
there.
because she's been following us since we came up with it.
JPC, before you drop off, I just want to coordinate since you're literally 40 seconds departure after me.
Yeah, so Sean's going to be the
our
first
team
leg,
logo, by the way.
and
So
he will
Melvin's
make
flying
sure
the
that. Are
Navion,
you
I'm
the
flying
first
the
leg for your
Comanche, so
team?
we're Navianche.
I am.
Okay, so I'll make sure, and Sean will make sure that he's behind you in the taxi to make sure that he's not blocking your departure.
Okay, no problem. And I'll make sure I'm going to go up to 1,000 MSL and turn.
Did you got that, Sean?
1,000. Okay.
All right, Melvin should be about 30 seconds away from departing here. Melvin, I know you're like 20 seconds away from departing. Are we staying here? Are we going to your voice channel, my voice channel?
I'll head over to yours here once I get rolling.
Actually, wait a minute. I don't know if I have one.
All right, we can meet in mine.
Okay.
Yeah, Sean and I are going to go into our own personal Discord. And again, for the other teams, one team can stay in here and another team can go into the Fingers channel.
I'll be staying in here for any questions or, just for entertainment. Good luck, everybody.
Thank
Good
you.
luck, everyone. Have fun.
Yeah, thanks for putting this together. It's going to be fun.
And
Yeah,
there is a multi-Twitch up and available. The link is in the Twitch channel if you want to watch both. Let's see, I'm streaming, Branch streaming, Rob streaming, and Nick Resla streaming.
Wow.
All right, I'm going to depart with Sean to our Discord. You guys have fun, and we'll see you at the finish line.
All right,
See you
Melvin's
in
up.
Pensacola.
Bye.
Melvin's up. He's turning hard. He's gonna get headed on course as quickly as possible. Look at him. He's banking that thing like a fighter pilot.
Harrison, I'm trying to think of what we would coordinate that would be secret.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't have any secrets.
I think I am going to delay, like, loading into our agreed on airport just to keep that. I don't think anybody needs to know that information.
You could load in and just not get on
Not
the network
connect.
until
Yeah.
I have a
Yeah.
couple surprises, but I'll make you guys watch my stream for those.
Oh,
Oh, awesome.
like and subscribe.
Yeah.
All right, I'll see you guys.
See ya.
All right.
All right, we're now over into MelvinLeroy's Discord, waiting for him to join us. You here, boss?
I'm here, sir. Hello.
I saw you get going and bank hard like a fighter pilot to get on course.
Early turnout approved when you're on Unicom, buddy.
Yeah, you're taking this seriously. Okay. Are you ready for my two twists?
I am. Are you wanting to give it away on my stream, or you want to save it for yours?
I'm on both right now, so.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's hear it, man.
Okay, well, so twist number one is we're changing over at, what's the name of it again?
Something Wheeler. Yeah, Telfair-Wheeler.
Okay, so twist number one is I'm not there right now.
So you're inbound, baby.
Yeah, I'm on the ground at what's it called? St. Simon Island? Yeah, St. Simon's Island, down on the coast.
Okay, cool.
So it's only 100 miles down the river, so I should be able to be there in plenty of time, but it's going to add a little bit of drama to it.
Okay, I like it. I like it.
Okay, and I'll get off the ground as soon as possible. Should be in plenty of time to get set up for our handoff. So, twist number two is I'm going to put in barely enough fuel to make it, so just to add that little extra drama to it.
I thought about doing that, but even with my just regular fuel load, it actually helps my aircraft a little bit because it keeps me from overspeeding. So I actually went the other direction.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought light might be fast, but we'll see.
Well, I'm sure I think the Comanche's a little heavier, but for some reason this guy here, it actually performs a little better with just a little bit of weight in it. And when it gets too light, it just gets tossed by the wind and the whole works. So I did a little test flight there, and it's not a huge difference, but anyway.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool deal. Well, I'll let you get back to it, and I gotta zoom on up to meet you there. So,
Sounds good. I'll be watching your stream too, buddy. We'll see you on the ground.
All right. Talk to you soon. All right. So you heard me. This is the course that we are doing. Melvin just took off from Myrtle Beach. He is headed down to this point here at Telfair-Wheeler. This is our changeover point. Real quick, show you the changeover point. It's a single runway. Obviously, we're not doing an instrument approach. Single runway when we're doing live weather, live time, and it's got a parking pad here. But I'm gonna touch down, and then I'm gonna set up as I know Melvin's inbound. I'm gonna set up and into the little turnaround area here. So I'll be off the runway in the turnaround area. As soon as he lands and clears off, then I will immediately be able to go and start leg 2. So that'll be a little bit of drama on the handoff point there. I'll need to be set up in the turnaround. But I got to back taxi. If I land and get up here and take a break, then I got to hurry up and back taxi and be down at the turnaround before he's inbound. So, so a little bit of drama there in terms of just trying to make sure that we're ready in time. Since I've now given away my position, I will go ahead and connect to the VATSIM network. I didn't want to connect and give away that I was adding these extra couple little twists here. So I will be coming from St. Simon's, and we're just going to VFR it up the river. See. I'd have plotted it out ahead of time. So here is our leg 1. I'm going to take off from St. Simon's, head north, join this river here. This restricted airspace, 3007, is not active on weekends. It's Monday through Friday only. I did check the margins of the Jacksonville sectional in order to determine that information. But R3007 is not active, so we can follow the river all the way up. This is called the Altamaha River, which I've never heard of. Might be a good candidate for a river run. As it turns over here, it turns into the Ocmulgee River. But anyway, follow the Altamaha and or the Ocmulgee to this point where it starts to turn south and west. And once it turns south and west, we'll follow this U.S. Highway 23 up to McRae and Telfair-Wheeler Airport. All right, now we got to beat Melvin there, so we got to get going. Second thing, like I said, is the fuel load. I've calculated that this is going to take us what did I calculate? So leg number 1 is 41 minutes and change, going to cost us 9.5 gallons. Leg number 2 is going to be just under an hour, 59 minutes and change. Going to cost us almost 14 gallons. So that's 24. And I'm going to load up 12 in each center tank to make the 24. And then in the tip tanks, I'll load in 4 gallons each side, and that'll be 8 gallons. And if we're doing 14 gallons an hour on average, so that 8 gallons will be our 30-minute VFR reserve. So that'll be the minimum reserve, but that'll be in the tip tanks, and the wing tanks will be the main fuel load for the trip today. All right, let's get going. We got to hurry. Into the aircraft we go. Anybody else I need to say hi to? Oh, yeah. Oh, I'll talk about the lunch. I'm going to finish up the lunch as we get airborne. Buffalo Brussels sprouts, and I just cooked them at home here in the air fryer, and I'll go over that with you guys here in just a moment. So open up the doors and the windows, and we want to just jump straight into our pre-flight walk around. Just going to be me today, no Charlie involved. This is not river run. We're going to be doing somewhat of a river run, but this is not a river run stream with our friend Charlie. This is just me. Okay, flap is checked in all 3 positions, not rubbing or catching in between positions, and is securely immovable in between. That's when in position, it's not moving. Fuel on the right-hand tip tank, we're going to put 4 gallons in there, and then we're going to close that up, continue our walk around. We'll do a quick sump check just to make sure. Okay, it is indeed blue at the bottom. It's not water that has settled into it, so it's good. It's not contaminated, not showing any kind of dirt or anything like that. Landing lights, we're going to come around and check a second time. We'll take up the tie down. I've already got 13. All right, well, we're going to reduce it to 12. All right, so I'll just go ahead and put 4 in there. left tip just to speed things along. So we would stick our head in, make sure that it looked to be about half full, and we'll say that it is, and make sure that it's the right color, and so forth. Wheel chocks out of the way. This is where we'll check the center tank. So I don't think I got to go back into the cockpit here. I don't think I opened up the fuel valves. Okay. So this would not have worked. Nothing would have come out. Oops, back up. Alright, so it's blue right away, and it's not contaminated, so we're good to go. Nothing left in the intake. Props not damaged. Let's make sure that we got just above the 9 mark a nice light color of oil. It's just above the 9 mark, but it's kind of dark. Let's go ahead and do a oil change on it real quick. Let's flip over to engine. Reduce it all the way down. Put it back up to 10. Okay, now that's a nice light color. Now we can put the dipstick back and close that up. On this side, okay, so we have 12 and 4, 12 and 4. So we'll poke our head in. That looks about half full to me. Looks like it's the right color, so we're good. Continue walk around. Wheel chock. Tie down. Oh, looks like I left the pitot cover off last time. I'll need to make sure that airspeed comes alive as we get rolling down the runway. Again, this is where we poke our head in. Should be about 1/4 full. 15 gallons. We got 4 in it, so that should be about 1/4. So it appears to be the right color and the right amount. Do a little sample of it. Make sure we're pulling fuel, not water, out of it, and it's not contaminated. We're good there. Aileron moves freely. Flap is secure in each position. It's a little wiggly, but it'll do. No obstruction in the static port. Rear tie down. That surface moves freely. This one should move less freely. No obstruction in the static port. And it'll be my duffel bag, small suitcase, and toolkit. And we'll leave the rest there. Okay. Battery and all the lights come on. And let's go around one more time just to check the lights. Okay, green light's on. You can see the strobe strobing. Landing light on the right-hand side's good. Strobe still strobing. Landing light on the left side's good. Red nav light's good. And then the beacon, we can hear it spinning now. We can see... Okay, it is illuminated. It's hard to see in the daylight, but it is illuminated. Okay, back in the airplane we go. Beacon, strobe, landing lights. So, no, beacon will come on because we're about to start the engine. And we can put that away. Close, lock the door. The briefing for the event said that the requirement was any naturally aspirated piston prop GA plane or any rotorcraft. So basically nothing with a turbine engine. And then what they did was they knew ahead of time what aircraft we were going to fly, and they weighted the start times accordingly. All right. Alright, all the circuit breakers appear to be in. Let's go mix forward throttle to about 10%. And we'll get the fuel pump on. Actually, shouldn't start priming it and wait till the fuel pressure comes up. Alright, there we go. 1, 2, and 3. And then we'll lock that. Magneto to right, and then left, and then both. Clear, clear, clear. Adding a little throttle as it turns, okay. Disengage the starter, throttle to 1000. Did the oil pressure come up right away? Yes, it did. Lean the mix out to the point where it starts to drop. Windows closed. Let's see, I'm going to turn the fuel pump off, but it should be supplying its own fuel pressure now, and it is. And we get the avionics on, which includes the Nav1, Com1, Nav2, Com2, altitude mode, 1200. We are going to have some NDBs to tune here just to help us navigate, so. Com plan. See, this leg is, we're on 123.05 for our CTAF. And we're all going to be, this entire portion of the trip is going to be in class Echo. So 23.05 and 22.9er are the two frequencies that we need for airport ops. .05 is for here. 22. We'll monitor 22.8, and we're also monitoring guard on Com2. We don't have any VATSIM air traffic control here either, but we wouldn't be required
need
to.
Some pliers.
Uh-oh, making good time. Yeah, I gotta get
set
up
of
and
30-weight
get up
ball
and
bearings. What the hell you
Where
need
are
ball
you?
bearings for? It's all ball bearings nowadays.
Okay, so we'll monitor your progress, but I'll get up and running now.
I just want to tell you both, good luck. We're all counting on you.
All right, altimeter. Field elevation here should be next to nothing. That's 19 feet, so I'll set the altimeter to whatever it reads 19 feet with. Looks like it's maybe about there. 3010, 3011 perhaps. Let's just see how that compares. 3010 is what's showing in the METAR on SkyVector. 57 minutes. Okay, that's fine. I got 100 miles, and I cover 150 an hour. So we're kind of cutting it kind of close, but I should be there. All right, we're parked at about a 042. Maybe 43. Windows 110 at 6. So we'll take off on 16 and on course is northbound to the river, so a left downwind. Okay. We are good. I can break off. St. Simon's traffic. Comanche 514 Delta Victor taxiing out to runway 16 for VFR northbound departure, St. Simon's. Is that the runway there, or is that the taxiway? I guess this is just the taxiway that goes all the way up. Alright. Laps for departure. Rim neutral. Laundry's done. Alright. RPM's up to 20. We'll flex the prop lever a couple times.
Excellent.
Alright, mix will go to full rich. Readjust for 20. Carb heat. Okay. Left mag. Good. Right mag. A little more of a drop, but we're still in good enough situation. St. Simon's traffic. Comanche 514 Delta Victor departing runway 16 VFR northbound. It'll be a left downwind departure. St. Simon's. Okay, airspeed did come alive, so pitot tube didn't get blocked, even though I forgot to cover it last time we landed. Pole right at the end of the runway. I don't know, that can't be real. But we'll make sure we clear it anyway. Okay, now we'll pitch down to 105. That's our VY. We'll go ahead and get gear in. Flaps in. RPM's down to 24. Manifold to 24. Pitch to 105. St. Simon's traffic. Comanche 514 Delta Victor clear runway 16, and we're entering the left downwind to exit the area to the northwest. St. Simon's. Alright, we're VFR westbound. Clouds not a concern. We'll plan to cruise at about 4,500 feet. There's the airport we just left. Keep it up to 24 and 24. Yeah, Brett Live says, yeah, we're doing this like a CFI with a full schedule whose student showed up a half hour late. Nah, I yammered on for too long, and then I was like, oh crap, Melvin's making good time. We gotta go. welcome to the stream, by the way. Alright, we should be going just 12 miles to the north. We should see this Brunswick Golden Isles on the left. And then we should see the Altamaha River on about a 313 that will follow up to the north and west. That this here. Okay. There's the airport we just took off from. Keep 24 and 24. Flaps up, gear up. Okay. I'm not late, I'm just in slant time. I'm normally very prompt. Okay, so here's that other airport there. Brunswick, Golden Isles. Okay, so we got, if I put a point right alongside that, we got another 4 miles, and then we'll turn northwest. So this must be the river that we're following here. The other thing is that as soon as we finish this climb out, we got to get the mix leaned out and make sure that we're burning 14 gallons an hour, 14 hours a gallon. That'd be really fuel efficient. But we got to make sure we're burning no more than 14 gallons an hour, because I've got to make sure that we get to our final destination today with fuel left. Alright, we're leveling it off at 4,500. I'm going to do my best not to overshoot the altitude, as I've mentioned many times in this aircraft. As the speed starts to pick up, you got to keep adding down trim in order to stay on your desired altitude. Okay, let's go ahead and turn, and we'll follow this river. We're over top the river 33 after the hour. Let's keep that in mind. So in order to maximize efficiency and speed, we'll make sure we're not overshooting the altitude, converting all that extra power into airspeed, and now we'll go ahead and reduce to 22 and 22. We can go and switch to the generic advisory frequency of 122.8. Alright, 14 gallons an hour, 22 on the manifold, 22 on the RPMs, 4,500, pretty good. And we set the plan at our destination was runway 21, so I'm going to set the arrow there for now. Okie doke. Oh, and I should have, I couldn't cut the fuel pump off when I brought the flaps in. Could have cut the fuel pump off, and now we've done that. Alright, so we are racing Melvin to MQW. Telfair-Wheeler. Worst case scenario, if Melvin beats us there, he gets turned off onto the landing pad. We'll just do a touch and go there. Alright, so as I follow this little squiggle, and we got a straight line off to our left to make sure. Yeah, so the straight line off to our left must be this railroad track and road. would really follow either. Matter of fact, the railroad track and road might be a straighter path. Let's do that. Let's do that, and just as a backup plan, so this Hazelhurst NDB doesn't look like it's active anymore, but we can tune in this Baxley Municipal NDB, a 376, and that'll be kind of a backup plan in terms of pointing us in the right direction so we don't start following the wrong road. But what's that? 376? Lost a couple hundred. Lost a couple hundred feet of altitude. We'll get that back. 376 is what I said. Okay, swap that in. Don't know if we're in range of that yet or not. Might be a little ways out. Iowa Scotsman is here. Alright, so we've shaved a few miles off of the navigation plan, and we're going to follow this railroad track. So that should save us a little bit of time here. So instead of 103 miles, we went up here. Now we're just going to go kind of like that. So we saved 3 miles by doing that. Whoops. Saved 3 miles by doing that. Twenty-two, 22, and 14. Engine appears happy. This is the aux tanks, but the main tanks, yeah, lower than we're used to seeing them, but enough for now. Okay. So let's take stock of our present position. Let's see if we can figure out how many more miles we have to our destination. All right, so I'm going to just blank all those intermediate points out, and then let's figure out where we are. And that way we can get a countdown of how many miles we have left. Do see there's a little bit of a zigzag in this road. And I'm not sure which, I guess this is the road, and this is like either the railway or power lines, maybe. It looks like this is probably power lines. It's like a clear cut, but it's grass. But there might be a road and a railroad adjacent there, where the railroad continues straight and the road kind of zigzags up ahead. So let's see if I can figure out where that is. Like there, maybe. So at the point where the railroad continues straight, but the road zigs a little bit, just ahead to the left of that should be this Jessup Wayne County Airport. To the left of the railroad, to the left of the power lines. Yeah, so I am seeing this correctly. Railroad's on the right, roads in the middle, power line on the left, and then that Jessup Wayne County Airport should be left of that. So like right in here somewhere. I don't 100% see it for certain. Is it that there, maybe? I mean, it looks like the power line does a very slight bend to the left just before the runway. I see that there, so, man, somewhere right in there, like maybe that. Yeah, we're definitely coming into this town here. And is that the... Yeah, that's the airport there. Okay, so if I'm confirmed that I'm at about this point right here, then we got 63 miles to destination. Oops, picking up some extra altitude here. Okay, so it looks like I've got less distance to the airport than he does, and I'm a little faster over the ground probably too. So we should be okay. Well, this says he's got 119 miles to go. So I got about half the distance and I'm a little faster over the ground, so we should be good. We should be fine. I have picked up about 350 extra feet though. I am going to put a little bit of down trim in it. Mr. Melvin, are you there? Mr. Melvin, are you there? Did I catch him out of cockpit? Oh, yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. That's all right. All right, now we're going to bend around a little bit to the left. And our prevailing direction should be a kind of a 309, maybe a little less than that, 300. As we make our way westbound on US 341 here. Alright, and at some point up ahead there's going to be a spot where 341 cuts to the right and then stays to the right of the railroad track. So that'll be kind of our next check-in as far as our remaining distance. Is that right there, maybe? Ah, I see it. But zigs slightly to the left. But then there is this distinct area where it cuts to the right and then kind of comes back in. So that would be that there. If once we are directly over top of that crossover, we'll have 45 miles left to go. Airplane's still happy, 22, 22, 14. And fuel, okay. Hey, check.
Hello?
Checking in if you have a second.
I do. What's up?
Alright, so I have just over 45 miles to go until our handoff point. How are you doing?
I'm estimating about 39 minutes out, so I think we should be just fine.
Yeah, I think I should be about 20 minutes at this pace, so that'll give me time to get down, intermission, get set up for your arrival, so we should be good here.
Yeah, I'm still 106 miles out, so you'll definitely get there before me.
Okay, sounds good, sir.
Good timing, dude.
Three, two, one, Tango Foxtrot's here. Hey, how are you? I think you're our race host, aren't you? I recognize that call sign. Nope. Nope, nope. I have it wrong. I have it wrong. Oh, no, I'm not racing, just a viewer. Okay, very good. Well, enjoy. Hope that you got the lay of the land of what's going on. We're doing what we call the Virtual USA Flying Club Great VUSA Relay Race. So MelvinLeroy is our partner. He started at Myrtle Beach. We are headed to our handoff airport, which we have chosen as Telfair-Wheeler. However, just to add a little extra drama, I'm not starting from Telfair-Wheeler. I wasn't going to just sit up there and spend the first half of the stream just waiting for him. I'm like, well, I'll start from somewhere else, and we'll head to the meet point. So I'm not really involved in the race until the second leg, but figured I'd race up there and be ready for the handoff. I gotta make sure I don't drift too far left of course here. We want to follow, I believe we were following this road. Oh, Rob Valkyrie says, I'm not flying today. The FAA has grounded me for that fiasco. No, no, no. Don't do that to yourself, man. Tango Foxtrot says, I see you're in the PA-24. I fly the PA-28 in real life. Yeah, so I have 0.0 hours real world. But I love this Comanche. This is A2A Simulations Piper Comanche. Extremely thoroughly modeled aircraft, inside and out, and including walk-around features, maintenance and upkeep features. Definitely keeps you on your toes. Rob, I wasn't going to call you out, man. I figured I would let you tell the story. But yeah, Rob Valkyrie flew and crossed the pond yesterday. Came all the way across, and I was controlling Dulles Tower. We had split Dulles Tower. I had the western side of the field. He actually came in on the eastern runway just because of where he was coming in from, so he didn't get to talk to me, but when he got down, realized that he had forgot one important step in the landing checklist. But I'm telling you, having flown that trip many, many times, the fatigue that you experience at the end of it is absolutely real. Even though we're just sitting here as sim pilots, the fatigue that you experience at the end of that event is 100% legit, real deal. Alright, let's figure out what our next... Okay, I do have that NDB detecting. We don't have any kind of distance measurement on that. And this is not... Yeah, this is okay. So this is Baxley. So if we get to the town of Baxley, we'll see that that is directly off to our left, and that'll be kind of a reference point. And then we should be going one town further up. Oh, so that contributed to it too. Rob says I didn't fall asleep till 3 and then had to wake up at 5 for the event. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so cut yourself a little slack on that, man. Mistakes happen, brother. Yeah, good deal, good deal. Right attitude, Rob, right attitude. Glad the trip went well otherwise, though. It's a sense of accomplishment to do it, regardless, right? 21 Tango Foxtrot says, I'm thinking about visiting ZDC. I'm going to hit 90 days in a few days. Nice, okay. Where and what do you control now? Oh, I had to give it my slot for a real-life training flight. Yeah, that's a good reason. That's a good reason. Oh, and S3 at ZID. Very good, very good. So I'm sure you know our very good friend Stu222. I'll tell you what, I need to get a few more of these Brussels sprouts in me. Oh, so I was talking at the beginning of the stream. Kind of didn't get a chance to finish lunch before the stream went live. But it's buffalo Brussels sprouts that I made. All right, and I'll tell you, I do them kind of simple. I do them kind of simple. You get the sprouts right from the produce section, and the very first thing I do is cut the stalks off, or the shanks, or whatever you want to call it. Cap them, and then cut them in half, and then set them on. And I use an air fryer. My wife has a Ninja air fryer that she loves, and I use occasionally. But set them on the tray for the air fryer, face up, right? So the curved side down, the flat side that you cut facing up, with all the little layers and grain, the little overlapping pieces of sprout, cabbage, whatever, facing upwards, because you want that to absorb all the seasoning you're going to put on it. All right, so rounded side down, touching the tray, flat side facing up. All right, so cut the tops off, cut them in half, set them on the tray. Round side down, flat side up. I season them pretty simple. Salt, pepper, garlic powder, and little olive oil. Little light coating of olive oil, and then a covering coating of buffalo sauce. All right, air fryer, 375, 18 minutes. Pop them out, throw them in a bowl, eat them. You can do blue cheese sprinkles on top if you want to add a little extra flavor, a little extra buffalo flavor. Do a little feta crumbles or blue cheese crumbles on top if you want. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But yeah, 18 minutes, 375. Salt, pepper, garlic, olive oil, buffalo. Easy enough. Easy prep. Easy cooking. Good eats. I have about a third of them left to show you. Well, about half of them. I got about half of them left. Yum yum. Alright, so we're passing another little town, another little airport over here to our left. I saw. I lost sight of it, maybe under the wing. And then we got another little zigzag in the road. So let's see how we're doing. Oh, well, let's look at our NDB. Is our NDB pointed straight off to the left? Yeah, it is. Okay, good. Well, that makes it easy. That means 100% we were right there at the town of Baxley. So 32 miles to go. We're going to continue on this U.S. highway. It was 341. It looks like it becomes U.S. 23 up into the next town. And as we come off of the highway, I'm just going to enter a 45 to left downwind to 21. Looks like the wind is slightly favoring runway 3, but because of the way we have the handoff plan, we'll do 21. And given that we are 30 miles to go to this point, that we're doing 2.5 miles a minute. So what's that going to be? 12 minutes? The 10 after 1 Eastern time? Andrew Fry of Logic is here. Andrew, how are you, man? Good to see you. The 10 after 1 Eastern time is when we will be getting there. Field elevation is 202. We're 4,500 now, so we're going to need to descend. We want to get to 1,000. We got 3,500 to lose. Say about 15 miles. But I would normally do 3.5 times 3.5, 12 and change. Okay, so we don't have to hustle down. We're not going to need that much distance. Alright, so we're a little less than 30 miles to go. How's Melvin doing? Yeah, it looks like we're going to beat him there. Beat him there by a fair piece, that's fine. He's got 76 miles to go. You alright, Mus? Anyway, while I chow down on the rest of this real quick, I'm going to take the mic and this screen off. But I am here. I'm not using the autopilot in this thing, so I'm here kind of just bumping it. I got it trimmed out so really nicely. Just bumping it every now and then just to make sure we're kind of staying level. But I'll do that. I'll finish up my lunch. Be right back with you guys. Alright, back with you. Oh, those were good. Those were good. While I was off screen, I did notice that we passed by, and I highlighted out the window, fairly sizable runway to our left that was mostly parallel to our course, and identified that as this Hazelhurst. So I put a little marker there, and it says we've got 14 miles to go. So I'm going to go ahead and start descending. As we get up to the town, the airport should be up past the town on the right, so somewhere in this area, although I don't see it yet. Go ahead and pull it down to about 19 and 19 here. Leave the mix lean for now. We'll unlean the mix when we get into the pattern. Telfair-Wheeler Airport, 122.9 is the CTAF. We'll get that switched over. Like, we're well ahead of Melvin, so we're good to go for now. Telfair-Wheeler traffic, Comanche 5 and 4 Delta Victor is about 10 miles south and east. We're at 4,500 descending. We're going to set up a 45 to left downwind to runway 21. Full stop, Telfair-Wheeler. Keep the manifold down to 19. So north of the... So we got these three little lakes here, and then north of the town is this lake, and then the airport's... We see the lake, and the airport's over to the right. Got these lakes here. Okay, so I think I see our airport there. Field elevation is 200. I'm going to get down to 1,200. I don't know, that's awfully big. It is a 5,000 foot runway. I'm going to square off this downwind entry just to get down to our pattern altitude. Let's take a moment here real quick on the directional gyro. If I'm steering exactly a 280, and it looks like I'm actually steering a 272, so let's fix that. I'm not certain that that's the runway there. Yeah, Goat Friend X says, I almost always struggle with the descent of this plane if I'm trying to keep the cylinder head temps in the green. Yeah, I know. Mine are slipping a little bit low there, too. What I think helps is to kind of keep the RPMs up. Doesn't have cow flaps. Yeah, that's true. Okay, so that's definitely our airport there. But I'm at 22 and I want to be at 12. I think what I'll do here, I'll circle out to the left. Give myself just that couple extra minutes. And that'll help us get the extra altitude off as well as start bringing the speed down. Bring the mix back in. Telfair-Wheeler traffic. Comanche 514 Delta Victor is 2,200 descending. We're about 5 miles southwest of the airport. We're going to enter a 45 to left downwind, runway 21 full stop, Telfair-Wheeler. Alright, 2,500 RPMs. Yeah, we still need to be descending. There we should be perpendicular with the runway. Okay, there it is. I think that's it we're looking at this year. Do the binoculars just a little bit here. Okay, there it is. Alright, so we're not really entering on a 45, we're entering more on a 30. But let's get down to pattern altitude. Leveled out. We're in range where we can pull gear out if we need to help us slow down as well, so that's good to know. Almost down to pattern altitude. And that's not the runway, is it? It is this here, I'm pretty sure. Telfair-Wheeler traffic. Comanche 514 Delta Victor is about 2 miles south. We're going to enter a left downwind for runway 21. We'll stop. Telfair-Wheeler. Alright guys, let's start putting some predictions into the chat. As far as the vertical descent rate at the moment the wheels touch runway surface, no bot command is necessary for that. Just a number into the chat, positive or negative, represents your guess as to the feet per minute at the moment the wheels touch runway surface.
Wheeler traffic, Navion 11816 is 40 miles to the northeast at 2,500. We're also inbound runway 21, Telfair-Wheeler.
Alright, so I think we're going to beat him. Anyway, get those numbers into the chat. The bot command's not really necessary. Just a number, positive or negative, and we'll know that means a descent rate in terms of feet per minute the moment the wheels touch runway surface. Our next stream is going to be that drawing, so today will be the last 2 entries into that April drawing. We do this every even-numbered month, so we'll collect all the entries. We'll choose a winner on our Tuesday stream. The first notch of flaps in. Telfair-Wheeler traffic. Comanche 514 Delta Victor's left downwind midfield. Runway 21 full stop. Telfair-Wheeler. Alright, fuel pump. Alright, we're beamed numbers. We'll run out until they're about 45 degrees over the shoulder behind us. Maybe just past this little quarry or whatever this is here. Second notch of flaps. Telfair-Wheeler traffic. Comanche 514 Delta Victor, left downwind to left base. Runway 21, full stop. Telfair-Wheeler. All right, friends, keep those numbers coming. Last call is going to be when we get
Navion 816,
lined up for
36 miles from the field, inbound 21, Telfair-Wheeler.
All right. There's our base. Level the wings. Look for traffic. Telfair-Wheeler traffic. Comanche 514 Delta Victor, left base to final. Runway 21, full stop. Telfair-Wheeler. We had chosen.
Easy for you to say.
Apparently not. Okay. Came in a little high, so we'll drop the power.
Now I have pressure on me because I think I'm going to probably say the same thing.
Andrew, give me a minute, man. I'm on final. I'll explain it in a second. A little steep, like a bush approach here. Not too bad. A little bit of a right to left across the pavement, but
you know, Rob, I guess if it's easier to depart to the north with the winds, I guess you could backtrack. There's a spot there at the end of that runway too. I guess it's totally up to you.
okay, I just got down. I'll check it out. Alright, we'll get
Actually, I lied. It doesn't look like there's any kind of a turnout spot down at the end of runway 3.
yeah, I think we'll just stick with the original plan.
Sounds good.
Yeah, it was tame wind-wise coming in, so.
All right, cool.
Telfair-Wheeler traffic. Comanche 514 Delta Victor, clear of runway 21. Telfair-Wheeler. Strobe, landing taxi, fuel pump and P2 heat off. Alright, we'll do a real quick break out of the cockpit for some liquid recycling, and then I'll hustle down to the end and be ready for Melvin's arrival. Matter of fact, I'm going to go over the winning numbers, and I'll explain what the prizes are once we get back from our intermission. So sit tight, I'll let you know who the winner was, and we'll go from there. But just to be sure we're ready to go, let's get leaned out. And a quick break out of the cockpit for the furry co-pilots and myself to do some liquid recycling. We'll be back in just a few. Sit tight.
Telfair-Wheeler traffic, Navion 816, 20 miles to the northeast, 2,500. We're going to maneuver left base runway 21, Telfair-Wheeler.
Alright, I'm back with you, and I'm not sure how far out Melvin is, but I'm going to go ahead and plan on back taxiing down the runway right now. I'll make a traffic call, which should prompt him to make one. I don't see him yet. We should be good. But if he's any closer than about 5 miles, then I'll hold off and I'll just get out of his way. But Telfair-Wheeler traffic, Comanche 514 Delta Victor, back taxiing runway 21 to the turnabout pad. Telfair-Wheeler. I didn't hear him say anything about being on final. I'm going to assume this is okay. As we get down there and out of his way. Then I will go over the winning numbers for our leg 1 landing rate raffle entry. So those of you new to the channel, Andrew and others who have wanted to know what the raffle was all about. So on this channel we do 2 raffles. We do on the odd numbered months, toward the end of the month, we do our Alphabets points raffle. The way you enter that is the Twitch channel points, aka the Alphabets points. They're at the bottom of the chat panel. You got the alphabet serial icon that represents those, and the button next to that tells you how many you have. Clicking on that button gives you the option to redeem 2,000 for 1 entry into that raffle. If you save up and do 10,000 at a time, you would think you'd get 5, but you'll actually get 6 for the price of 5. So a little bit of a bulk discount if you go 2,000 for 1, 10,000, 6 for the price of 5.
Traffic, Navion 816, 10 miles.
Okay, we're good.
To the northeast of the field, descending 1,800 Telfair-Wheeler.
Telfair-Wheeler traffic, Comanche 514 Delta Victor is clearing runway 21 now. We will remain clear for the inbound traffic, Telfair-Wheeler. Okay. So we'll camp out here until Melvin's on short final and we'll do our run-up. But I'll get back to telling you about the raffles. Let's make sure 1,000 in the RPMs. Lean to the point right to where it starts to drop. Field elevation is reading pretty accurate. It's, what did we say it was? 202, so it looks like the altimeter here might be just a little bit higher than what we said. Alright, and we are parked right now at a 115. Directional driver was actually pretty close to that. There we are. 2-1. And then what's the plan for leg number 2? So we're going to go to this Coney VOR, or NDB rather. So a 270 on course after departure. So right hand turnout VFR westbound. Tune this to 400. Might not be reading that yet, but maybe. Yep, no, not yet. Okay, we can go flaps.
Telfair-Wheeler traffic, Navion 816 is entering an extended left base 21, Telfair-Wheeler.
Flaps and trim set. And we are ready. So extended left base will be coming from this direction. Oh, I see him. Alright, so the Alphabets points raffle, we were talking about it. Alphabets points, that's how you do that's how you enter the raffle that we draw toward the end of the odd numbered months. The Twitch channel points. Alphabets points at the bottom of the chat panel. 2,000 for one entry, 10,000 will get you six for the price of 5. And interestingly, I'm not logged into the right thing. Oh, wait a minute. I got logged out of my own Twitch somehow.
Telfair-Wheeler traffic, Navion 816 is turning final 2-1, Telfair-Wheeler.
Alright, there we are.
You're coming down.
As soon as he clears.
For about 80 here, 100 over the numbers would be good. And again, long landing. Ooh, a little downdraft.
Right. Let's do our run up real quick.
Down. First notch flaps out in here. A little fast doing that actually. Down we go. There's slant alpha waiting. Let's take the aircraft down the road a little bit here.
All right. There he is. All right.
Down. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. There comes our exit.
Telfair-Wheeler traffic. Comanche 5 for Delta Victor lining up runway 21 for VFR departure westbound. Telfair-Wheeler.
Telfair-Wheeler, Navion 816 is clear at 2-1, Telfair.
Telfair-Wheeler traffic. Comanche 5 for Delta Victor departing runway 21. Telfair-Wheeler. Takeoff power coming at you. I'll come back to the raffles in a moment, guys. This is time sensitive. So
head on out here. Second leg.
All right, airspeed's alive. 80 miles an hour. Let's go.
We'll shut down our aircraft and close up the stream for the day.
Okay, clear the pavement. Wheels come up.
watch Slant Alpha
105.
take the baton home. Well, we'll see. We'll see how things go. There he goes. The Comanche is on its way.
Laps.
So, hey, thanks, Blackmon. Yeah, that was a pretty good landing. This aircraft is quite.
Didn't get all the lights set and
fun to
stuff,
fly,
but now that's done.
Handles really nicely.
Telfair-Wheeler traffic, Comanche 5 and Port Altimeter clear, runway 21, VFR westbound, leaving the area. Telfair-Wheeler.
He's out of there. He is out of there. We're going to go turn everything off here.
All right. Back off the power, 24 and 24.
Bring the mixture to cut off. Chunky. We're done there. We're good there. Battery alternator can come off. Mags.
Coming through.
That's about it for that.
I think he's coming through the Discord.
Anything else I need to do? Oh, I do have something else I need to do.
You got an open mic on the Discord, by the way.
We need to make sure that we open up the top, right? Should have had that thing open for taxi. This thing will actually open all the way back. I mean, this is how you get into the aircraft. So it slides all the way back. It's kind of cool. But yeah.
You got open mic on the Discord, by the way, Melv.
Oh, sorry about that.
That's all right. It was nice to hear you make those calls, so I knew you were right there.
It's weird how that happens sometimes, but I'm going to go ahead and mute here, and I'll come over and join you on your stream.
All right. All right, so we're 24 on the RPMs, 24 on the manifold pressure, 270 on the course. Not really receiving anything navigationally, so we'll have to pick up our visual navigation here in just a moment. Okie doke. We'll level it out at 4,500. And anyway, let's go back to what we were talking about, which is our raffles. Because I know, Andrew, you asked that a while ago. So, Alphabet's points, as we mentioned. Looks like Timber 71, I owe you one. Anyway, so that is how you enter the raffle that we pull toward the end of the odd-numbered months. So the next one of those will be toward the end of May. As a matter of fact, May the 27th will be our next Alphabet's drawing. And again, the bottom of the chat panel, Alphabet serial icon, Twitch channel points, 2,000 for one entry, 10,000 will get you 6 for the price of 5. The landing rate raffle, that is the one that we are going to be pulling on Tuesday, and that's the one that we pull toward the end of the even-numbered months. That'll be pulled on April the 29th, and we do it toward the end of all of the even-numbered months. And that's the one where you enter by putting your prediction into the chat as far as the descent rate upon touchdown, and whoever gets closest gets an entry into our landing rate raffle. In this case, that winning number was 61. So I'll scroll back and I'll see who got it. You guys probably, well, you guys will probably know before I do, because I'm going to get leveled off at 4,500 here, and then we got to figure out where we are. All right, we'll ease the RPMs back. 22 and the manifold pressure to 22. Ease the mix back, 14 gallons an hour. Super critical because I've got just enough fuel in the wing tanks to get there. Alright, 22, 22, 14, and 4,500. And we're on a 270 course, and we're not yet picking up that NDB. I'll come back to the visual navigation in just a moment. For right now, I'm just going to fly at 270. We're just going to dead reckon it for right now. I didn't catch exactly what time we took off, but about 5 minutes ago. But we'll cross-reference our position on the chart here, and then we'll do a little bit better job at dead reckoning once we have a known position to go off of. Alright, but anyway, so that's how we enter the landing rate raffle, and I'll come back in just a moment and figure out who is getting that entry. 61 was the winning number. The prizes, when we do each of those drawings, so we're going to do the Alphabets Points raffle on May the 27th, the landing rate raffle on April the 29th, which is just 2 days from now, right? The winner gets their choice of any item off of the Slant Alpha prize vault list. So if your name comes out of that fishbowl this coming Tuesday, you'll get your choice of either a Slant Alpha t-shirt, ball cap, mouse pad, coffee mug, or tote bag, which I will ship to you at my expense anywhere in the world. Don't want any of that stuff, that's fine. You could choose instead an electronic gift card to Amazon.com or Xplane.org store or SimMarket.com. $25 value to Amazon or Xplane.org store, £25 to SimMarket. So you can choose one item of your choice, whether it's the physical merch and you'll just need to provide me a shipping address, or whether it's an electronic gift card, and I'll need an email address for Amazon or Xplane.org, and SimMarket I can just send you a code right over Discord or Twitch Whispers or whatever you like. So those are the prizes that are up for grabs. Let's figure out now who our latest entrant into Tuesday's raffle is. We have one more entrant prior to that Tuesday drawing. 61 was the actual number. 26.2 said 88. We got 138. We got 32. We got 95. We got 101. So the closest above was 88. The closest below was 32. You guys are going to make me do some math here. So 32 is 42, 52, 62. So that would be 29 away is that guess of 32. So I think 88 is probably going to be the closer one, right? 61, 71, 81. So that'd be 27 away, right? I think it's 26.2 by a nose. 88 minus 61. That's 27 away, for that's 26.2. 61 minus 32 is 29 away. Yep, so it's 26.2 with the 88 is going to be the big winner there. Wow. Close one, guys. Close one. Don't think I've ever seen it go that way before. Yeah. That was a close one. And where were we at? KMQ. Where were we? It has a strange identifier. MQW. Telfair-Wheeler. And we could not have chosen a more difficult one to say over CTAF, that's for sure. Speaking of CTAF, I guess I should be monitoring just the generic advisories now of 122.8. And loosely keeping that 270. Oh, hey, we got the raid coming in from MelvinLeroy. Well, now we get to see leg number 2 of our trip out to Pensacola. As we are racing against our other friends in the Virtual USA Flying Club. And so we're not watching 816 anymore. We can watch ourselves. Well, I'll tell you what we're gonna do here in just a moment. We're gonna add a filter just to show the other planes that are headed into Pensacola, so we'll get a chance to see how we're faring here. But anyway, let's get a sense of our position. I've just been doing straight up 270 off of the runway Let's see if we can figure out what we're crossing. We're not picking up that NDB just yet on frequency 400. So for starters, let's get that sorted out. KMQW to KPNS. And I'll tell you what, if we could adjust our course a little bit and just aim for the bottom end of Lake Blackshear. So a 261. So we could actually cheat our desired course a little bit to the left. So there's 261. So that'll be our first waypoint, will be that the bottom end of that Lake Blackshear. Now that is 56 miles away, and we know we took off from the airport about 10 minutes ago. I think we might be passing this river now. We saw something squiggly, the Ocmulgee River perhaps. So if that's where we're passing approximately, then we got another 35 miles from present position. So 35 miles, and we make about 2.5 miles per minute in this aircraft. So that would be, we were doing 15, 30, yeah, 14, 28. Yeah, so 14 minutes at 2.5 miles a minute. So it's 41, so it's 155. We should be coming across the bottom end of Lake Blackshear. So we'll keep this course for now. There's really not too much else. Okay, now we are receiving that NDB on frequency 400. We see that that's right ahead of us. So we've adjusted our course to miss that NDB down to the left a little bit, but we can see that we're pointed in the right direction. Okay, so far so good. Now, bring it home, buddy. Yep. Let's go over to VATSIM radar and let's see if we can add a filter so we see ourselves here. Let's just close that up for now. Let's add a filter. Arrival airports, KPNS. Enter. And apply. Thought there were supposed to be 4 teams. Okay, so there's one. There's one. Oh, and I'm not filed. I don't have it filed. That's why. How long's the flight? Well, so if we get to the bottom of Lake Blackshear, it's another 186 miles from there. So if we go 186 divided by 2.5, another hour and 15 plus however long it takes us to get there. So another hour and a half or so, it looks like. Got an airport directly ahead of us. That may well be this airport here. Crisp County. Alright, so I gotta get a flight plan filed on VATSIM. We're 514 Delta Victor, we're VFR, we're a PA-24, weight category is light. What are we in this aircraft, guys, in terms of equipment? Just SDF L. Departure was KMQW. Off block was about 14, 15, 16, 17, so about 1650. Altitude 4500, airspeed 180. Arrival KPNS, alternate none. En route time, 1 hour. Fuel endurance, 130. Route details, VFR, southwestbound. So we'll do the Virtual USA Flying Club, but we won't put the link in because that's what we just be too much, and then we got the stream link in there as well. Okay, so if we look again on VATSIM radar in just a few minutes, we should also then appear in the filter. For those going to Pensacola. But I would guess we are coming over top of that airport right now. I'll do some verification to make sure I'm looking at this the one I think I'm looking at. Right? Obviously, we don't want to screw ourselves up and be at a different, be flying over top of a different place than we think we are. So it's runway just north of a town. We got a town, and then we got a runway just north of it. We should see this lake out beyond it. Do we see that yet? Yeah, I think we do. And then the airport in question should have, we should be kind of like navigating straight toward the point where these two runways converge. Is that the case? I only see one runway. Oh, I know. Maybe I do. Yeah, here's the other one. Okay, so navigation plan is working out well so far. Picked up a couple extra 100 feet. Alright, so what's that mean? Our next navigation waypoint is the south end of the Walter F. George Reservoir. So we're off of this airport. We want to do a 258 for 70 miles. Well, that means two things. Number one, we need to set a 258. By the way, we're going to set 17 is a arrival runway, we think, at Pensacola. What did I say? After this airport, we want to do a 258. So that'd be a 260 minus 2 notches. However, we also got to make sure that our directional gyro is calibrated. So I'm going to go ahead and steer. Looks like, according to the magnetic compass, we're doing exactly due west now. So that's about 5 degrees off. That's now centered. That's now centered. West and west. And we want to turn now. Now that we've passed over top of that airport, Crisp County, we're going to turn to a 258, 70 miles at 149 Eastern. 70 miles. So we want to figure out how long it's going to take us. 70 divided by 2.5, so it's going to take us 28 minutes, and it's 1:50 now, so at 2:18 Eastern Time, we should see that next lake. We should cross over just the bottom tip of it. If I keep that arrow right in the center. Down trim, let's keep 4,500. Charles Farmer's here. Charles, welcome. Good to see you. Welcome to the stream. not yet seen myself here. VATSIM radar. So let's apply. Ooh, if that's me. Oh, PSN. Well, wonder if I can fix that. KPNS. Now I think in order to file, if you're already airborne, I don't think you can file a flight plan if you already have if you're already airborne and you don't have a flight plan on file, you can file it and it'll take. If you're already airborne and you do have a flight plan on file, I don't think it'll take it. So I'm going to actually disconnect from the network here for just a moment. We're going to count to 10, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going to file the updated flight plan. It did say flight plan filed. Now, count to 10 again, reconnect to VATSIM. Alright, now let's look at VATSIM radar. It might need a refresh cycle before I appear on the network again. Oh, there I am. Okay, so now to Pensacola Regional. Okay, good. So now I have that correct. Let's come back into the filters. Apply. So we have this United. He's not part of the race. But we should have 4 teams headed to Pensacola. We got one that's on the ground at EZM. One that just... Oh, that's the same. That's one of the same. So do we only have 3? We got Macon. We got EZM. And that's all I see. I don't see the 4th team. Oh, there we are. So it looks like we got a pretty good lead at the moment. Pretty good lead, although I just let 400 feet of altitude drop off. So we'll fix that. And then it looks like I've drifted way right of my intended course. It's okay. My next intended visual waypoint is... gonna be pretty easy to spot. South end of that reservoir, that's gonna be a hard one to miss. There's no restricted airspace, Bravo, Delta, or Charlie airspace in between, so nothing we need to worry about airspace wise in terms of not following a precise path. But let's just get back to where we are, pointed in the right direction. There's no need to squander our lead, right, Melvin? Now, the only thing I don't know, like I said, we got a pretty good lead on the other teams. The only thing I don't know, though, is what they are flying in terms of their cruise speed. Yeah, Comanche gets up the line pretty quick at 2.5 miles a minute. The requirements for the contest was it has to be a naturally aspirated piston engine. And I think it might have said single. I do know that one of the ones that we're up against is a Mooney. You know, and we do about 150 knots over the ground. He's going to do about 180 knots over the ground. So he'll have some opportunity to catch up. We got a good lead, but we're going to need to keep it. Oh, and that NDB of 400 is now behind us. We're doing all this visual navigation right now. Right there we are, back at 4,500. Alright, now as we get closer, we do have, as we leave the Walter George Reservoir, we are going to have to be careful. We do have a delta here at Dothan Regional, but as long as we're above 2,900 feet, we're okay there. We won't be infringing upon that. Looks like we've got a delta here. Again, 2,800 feet, so as long as we're staying at 45, we'll be fine. We do have a restricted airspace, R2103, and that is operational 24/7 from what I remember. I've drifted left, of course, here. Let's steer back over. I'll show you where to find out the information on that restricted airspace. And of course on VATSIM, you know, they're generally not real strict about enforcing those, and plus there's no VATSIM air traffic control on right now in this area, so doubly the case where we really don't have to worry about it. However, just for that extra touch of realism, well, we drifted back up to 5,000. Let's get back down to 45. For that extra touch of realism, let me show you where to find the information on this R2103 restricted airspace. Alright, so on SkyVector, we tend to focus on the world VFR, the world high, the world low. The VFR sectionals, however, is stitched together from all of the sectionals that covers a section of the U.S. And if we go over to the right and you just look for the one that has a place name with it, New Orleans, well, that's the New Orleans sectional. And you can see over here, here's the way all of the sectionals are stitched together to cover the U.S. New Orleans is the one that we're looking at now. In the margin of these sectionals is information on some of the airspace that the sectional covers. So, for example, if we wanted to see the operating hours of restricted airspace 2103 A, B, and C, let's go to the margins. A, B, and C, continuous by NOTAM 6 hours in advance. So the A and they're all co-located, right? They were all the same circle, essentially. All right, so it's this circle refers to all three of those, R2103, A, B, and C. So A is surface to 5,000, B is 5,000 to 10,000, C is 10,000 to 15,000. So A and B are the ones that kind of affect us. We're at 4,500, but these are continuous. Okay, so that circle is continuously restricted up to 10,000 feet. 10 to 15,000 feet is also restricted by NOTAM 6 hours in advance. But since it's continuously in operation up to 10, and it's a small area, so it makes more sense to just go around it rather than try and go over it. So, since 10,000 is continuously operable, we'll just make sure we miss it to the south. Once we pass that reservoir, we can make sure that we miss it to the south by navigating to one of these NDBs down here. If we go to the Bryant, or the Brint, I don't know if that's Bryant or Brint NDB on frequency 212, that will help us make sure we stay south of that Navianche restricted airspace. Alright, so that's the plan. Let's get back to looking at the airplane. Okay, now we've drifted well up above our altitude. So let's give back the 7,000 feet, 700 feet rather. Give back that 700 extra feet. Let's get back on our intended course. And again, it should be about 20 after that we see that reservoir. What are you doing? You nut. I know, you're so gorgeous. The furry co-pilots are... The natives are getting restless, as they say. Mrs. Slant is out of town this weekend. Her best friend is getting married in a few weeks, so bridesmaids activities going on today up in the Baltimore region. So she left and crossed the bridge and left me and the co-pilots here to fend for ourselves. A little bachelor weekend here in the Slant Alpha household. But it also means if they start losing their you-know-what, I've got to deal with it. I don't have her to grab them and occupy them for me. So hopefully with another hour and change to fly, probably an hour and a half to fly, hopefully they'll stay. Calm and in control of themselves. Alright, so we're back pointed the way we want to point. Still got 550 feet to lose. See, the problem with not paying attention to that altitude is that when you get into that little bit of a climb, you're losing airspeed and you're potentially burning fuel. Now, one thing I haven't talked about is we did fill the tanks. Oh boy. We did fill the tanks barely enough to get to our destination. Now, I did put my 30-minute VFR reserve in the tip tanks. So I'm going to leave the valves on mains for as long as I can. We should be burning the last drops from the mains as we touch down. If I need to switch to the tip tanks, that means I will have planned my fuel incorrectly. I got this little tiny little lake here. I don't know if that lake will be big enough to be on the sectional. We might be able to cross-reference our position based on this road. And a fairly sizable lake just up there. Well, alright. Not as big a lake as I thought. I was looking at this whole area thinking, oh, there's a sizable lake, but no, it's really just that. Let's see, let's go back to World VFR. We know we're coming up on this. We know we're about halfway in between. We might be able to spot this town of Dawson and this little airport called Dawson Municipal off to our left. Yeah, here's a lake that might be on the sectional. And we might have wandered that far north, of course. It's certainly possible. And another little lake. So here's a town. And the airport... Okay, yeah. So there's the town, and there's an airport that's kind of slanted away behind us. So that's going to be the town of Dawson. So it does look like we have indeed crossed right about here. And so for us, that means a 252 for another 32 miles to get to that next waypoint. So let's set the 252. But let's also steer... Let's steer a 240 exactly just for a moment. Let the compass settle in. A little bit of a haze layer up ahead. We're going to be careful about maintaining VFR minimums. Might get interesting from a weather standpoint. Alright, but let's... steer exactly at 240 for just a moment. Let's let the compass settle in. Oh, it looks like we've got it pretty well calibrated. Okay, well that check having been completed, let's go ahead and turn back out to the 252 that we want to maintain. Trying to put just a tiny little bit of up trim in it in order to keep that 4,500. Just gently steering back over to our 252 desired course. Oh, Bread Live says, this looks like another amazing A2A product. Oh, highly recommended, absolutely. How does it fly? It flies gloriously. They pride themselves, A2A prides themselves on what they call AccuSim. It's the flight model actually runs in an app that launches outside of the sim, although the way they have that installed and running in the background, you don't notice it. You just select it the same as you do any other aircraft in the sim. But it runs this little helper app in the background that actually runs the flight model. So it's really good. Now I have trouble just landing it because I feel like, you know, the recommended speed over threshold's about 80, but for some reason I always feel like that's way too much energy, and that's why I tend to skip and bounce this thing all the time. But I think it's just because I tend to run it fairly light, like I have no other passengers, and I don't put that much in the cargo, and I keep the fuel load pretty lean as well. So I have a feeling that contributes to my issues in landing it. When I run it a little closer to the stall speed than is recommended, it seems to handle better for me. So I think that's a me issue. I don't think that's a sim issue. Keely, pull your jet steer. Do I have all the slippery stuff installed on the airframe? Yeah, got it trimmed out for speed. We'll find a toy, darling. Come here. Come here. Come here. Oh, now you're in on the action too. Well, if she's getting attention, I want attention. Right, Maz? I think she just stole your bone, bud. The bone that you had hidden. Yeah, you might have just lost it. Sorry, bud. Yeah, Brett, when this thing was released, and they did a teaser trailer of it at which expo? I think the one in Houston. They demonstrated a power-on stall spin in this aircraft. And they didn't talk about it, but at the very end, they rolled the credits, and the last scene that you saw was them doing a power-on stall and spin in this aircraft. Which I don't think any other Flight Sim 2020 product does properly. I haven't tested it, and I'm in a race right now, or else I'd test it for you, but... right now, I'm trying to get to Pensacola before 3 other teams. Uh-oh, Melvin says, my PC just restarted, loading into Discord. Well, hey, at least that didn't happen during your first leg, man. Alright, looks like we're coming up on the bottom end of that reservoir. It also looks like we're coming into some haze. Gonna have to be real careful here weather-wise. Can I still see the ground? Yes. Okay, good. Well, then we're fine. All right, 129 miles to go. We do 150. That's 0.86 of an hour. 51 minutes. We're going to burn 12 gallons in that time. So if we've got 6 gallons per wing tank, we're good to go. Is that first dot 5? I hope so. We got some fuel in the tip tanks if we need it. But if I end up having to switch to the tips, first of all, I'm going to burn every ounce out of the wing tank, so we'll have to restart the engine in midair if that happens. That'll be fun. Secondly, it will definitely mean that I would have done my fuel calculations incorrectly. Alright, so 50 some odd minutes after this reservoir, and we said that we want to fly a 243 off of it. So, next waypoint up ahead, if we want to make sure that we stay to the left of this Navianche restricted airspace, the next waypoint up ahead is going to be this Brint 212 NDB. So that'll be kind of easy. We'll just steer to it if we're indeed receiving it. Oops. 12 and then 212 it was, right? All right. So we'll give it a minute, see if we're receiving anything on it. Is everyone doing this online? Yeah, we are live. These are the 3 other teams. Now, they're well behind us, but I also don't know. Oh, he's in the Mooney, so he's going to have a little bit better speed over the ground than we are. He's in a Diamond DA42. I don't know what the cruise speed on one of those is. I have a feeling it's a little quicker than us as well. And then here's the other one. SR. He's a SR22. So he's a DA42. He's a Cirrus SR22. So we're doing okay. I think we got a pretty good lead, but I gotta. I mean, it's mine to lose right now, but I gotta not mess up. All right, let's 245, 244 maybe. And then what's our desired course after the reservoir? So even if we're not receiving this print NDB just yet, we're going to want to maintain a 242 off of the lake. So I'll knock the arrow 1, 2, okay, and it's 45 nautical miles. So if we do 20 minutes, so 18 minutes, right? 18, 36, 45, yeah, 18 minutes. And we're 18 after the hour now. Almost 18 after the hour. So 18 after the hour, and then another 18 is 36 after the hour before we should be right at that NDB. And again, we're not receiving it yet, but we'll just point ourselves toward it. We should be fine. If we get down the lane a little bit and we see this lake, we'll just need to make sure that we pass to the left of it. If we see Ozark Blackwell, we're good. We see this lake, we stay left of it, we're good. We just don't want to infringe upon that restricted airspace. And again, the consequences on VATSIM are nil. But, just for the sake of doing things the right way. Alright, there we are. 18 after the hour, 242, another 18 minutes. Touch down trim to keep the 4500. Hey, there's our friend Kenny Monster. How are you, Kenny? Alright, slightly to the left now. There is... Okay, there's a road, but it's not really going the same direction we are. I see there's this little thing that's kind of going in the same direction we are, but that might be, that might not be something that's, oh, is that this power? I think that might just be this power line, because it didn't look like a road, it looked like maybe just a clear cut. So if we're able to spot that, man, that'll be a nice visual path to follow. Ian Fisher, hey, how you doing? Okay, so if we can follow that power line, that's going to be a little tough on the eyes, but we'll do our best here. That should give us a nice good guideline straight into that NDB, which again we're not yet receiving. 22, 22, a little less than 14, which is probably a good thing. And if we've got just about 6 gallons left in each tank, then we are cutting it perfectly close. Now again, I've got my VFR reserve in the tips. So if we calculate the fuel correctly, I should run out just as we get to Pensacola, but I do have the tips we can switch over to. Yeah, I did that as part of the challenge today, Ian, just to add a little drama. See how close my fuel calculations are. We planned it to do 2 legs. So it's a relay race that we're running with the Virtual USA Flying Club. MelvinLeroy started at Myrtle Beach. We handed off at Telfair-Wheeler. I started at St. Simon Island and made my way up to Telfair-Wheeler in time for the handoff. And then we're heading from Telfair-Wheeler down to Pensacola, where we're racing 3 other teams. And of the 4 that are currently inbound, I've got a pretty good lead, but I've got aircraft behind me that have a little bit better cruise speed. So far so good, but it ain't over yet. So we added the extra drama of racing to the handoff point in time for MelvinLeroy to make the handoff with us. I played that somewhat conservatively. I was only 90 miles or 100 miles down the road from that, where Melvin had a 240 some odd mile leg. He's coming for you, yeah, R6 Chavez. Yep, indeed. Indeed, you guys are bearing down on my neck here, and I know you're flying little aircraft that are a little faster than me, so I got a good lead. I got to make sure I keep it. Yeah, the tips aren't loaded, Ian. I have 8 gallons total in the tips, and we burn 14 gallons an hour. So that is the 30-minute VFR reserve that I have put in the tips, plus an extra gallon. So yeah, we're lean on fuel for sure, and that was part of the intended drama today. But we'll see how we do. I'm assuming that I'm assuming these dots are 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and then 30 if it pegs all the way to the right. However, I don't know that for sure. And I'm gonna run until they go dry, and then we'll switch over. So Goat Friend says, how come you can find NDBs in the South and East U.S., but almost nothing West? I'm European, but I do my flying in the U.S., and maybe there's some explanation. So here's my guess, okay? I don't really know. I haven't thought a lot about this, but your message got me thinking just now. And that is, you got to remember that general aviation and single engine piston and flying is a lot more robust here in the U.S. than it is in other places, and in Europe particularly. There's a lot of general aviation. VFR flying is very, very unrestricted in the U.S. Outside of prohibited airspace, restricted airspace, and Delta, Charlie, and Bravo, you can do pretty much whatever you want in an airplane as long as it's not risking anyone's life. And there's, I'm overstating that a little bit, but it's pretty free. So, there's a lot of VFR aircraft out there, and then there's a lot of, kind of basic instrument-rated pilots out there. And so in the South and East, where there might be, a little bit more wide open space than the Northeast, where you have, huge metropolitan areas, and pretty much everybody that flies in the huge metropolitan areas with the very dense airspace that's got lots of Bravo, lots of Delta, lots of Charlie, lots of other things you need to be aware of, you're mostly going to have, GPS units up there. Down here in the South and East, you might not have as many aircraft that are GPS equipped. So you're going to have, more of a need for instrument-based approaches and instrument-based navigation. So I wonder if that's played a factor in these NDBs kind of staying in this region a little more pervasively than up in the Northeast. I don't know. I mean, that's a theory. That's a theory I came up with in the last however many minutes, 4 minutes since your message came up. So I don't know. I have to think about that some more, but that's my guess. Uh-oh. So did the wing tanks just burn out, or is there a certain amount of unusable fuel that I forgot to factor in? Goat friend. So on this channel, did that work? That's so weird. On that panel, it doesn't work if I do that. Yeah, there's probably a couple gallons of non-usable fuel on the bottom of the tank there that the fuel pump can't get to. Alright, so we'll have to see. We'll have to see how my fuel calculations worked out. We're burning out the tips now. We got this gauge down here. So either my fuel calculations have gone horribly wrong, or there's just, you know, maybe about 4 gallons in each tank that you can't actually get to. Now, funny thing is, I only added about 4 gallons into the tip tanks. So we're still in kind of a fuel emergency status here. FAA, if you're looking, cover your eyes. Alright, that NDB is indeed receiving now. We're heading right toward it, so we're doing good. And I had said 36 after the hour, so another 8 minutes we should be passing that. And of course we got a right and a left on that. It should be the same. And it's not like we're gonna have 2 engines burning it at different rates. They should drain at the same pace. Alright, so for right now, we're headed to this Bryant, and then it's still a 241. Will that 241 keep us north of any of the restricted airspace down here? Yeah, it will, but we'll add in another... Yeah, maybe we'll use this VOR, this Crestview VOR, just as a reference to make sure we stay out of that restricted airspace associated with Eglin Air Force Base. Are my mains empty? They were close to it. I thought they had a few gallons left in it. And I'm not going to cheat and check the tablet, Chavez. We'll do a debrief of the fuel situation once we get down. I thought that I had about 5, maybe 4 gallons left in each of them, but they certainly did start to. The engines did certainly start to die there a minute ago. So we'll see what happened. But right now I am burning into what I thought was going to be my VFR reserve. So we'll see. We'll assess when we get down. We'll see if we can figure out what happened. Now, of course, I burned more fuel in the climb out. You know, burning from ground to 4,500. You know, but that's only for a few minutes, and it should be, you know, mostly offset by the reduced fuel consumption as you descend. So the 14 gallons an hour is kind of an average. And I do appreciate that normally you would burn the tips first and then the mains. But the way I loaded the fuel was the mains was our primary trip fuel and the tips was our reserve. So I kind of did it backwards in that regard. But yeah, so I definitely ran out of fuel, or ran out of usable fuel at least. Again, we don't know. I'll have to verify what the difference is once we get landed. But I definitely did not expect to run out of fuel until we were very, very close to Pensacola, and we are still quite a ways away. So somehow that calculation has gone horribly wrong, and now we'll have to see if we've got enough. We might have to dead stick it into Pensacola. Alright, we got an airport just off to our 1 o'clock here, about 5 miles. If we can figure out what airport that is, that'll give us a really good indication of our progress. Well, I mean, hey, if that's Ozark Blackwell, it shouldn't be, though. Oh, you know what? Okay, so it's got kind of an L shape, kind of a slightly wider than 90-degree L shape to it. I'm thinking it's this one. Oh, it might be Dothan Regional. I'm thinking it's this one, though. I'm thinking it's Cairns Army Airfield. So we might only be 6 miles from that NDB. Well, I did say 36 after the hour, and it's now 32. So that seems about right. We might be making slightly better time than I expected. All right, so what do we want to do after that VOR, or NDB rather? A 241. And matter of fact, if we did it let's say we're going to go into that VOR. A 245, really. Alright, so again, let's take a moment to... Well, let's steer a 245 exactly. How's that? Okay. Steer a 245 exactly, but then let's match it up to what shows on the compass. Let's make sure we're doing a 245 exactly. And then let's make sure the wings are nice and level and we're not turning at all. Give the compass a moment to settle in. Yeah, see, that says we're doing more of a 240 more than those. So let's bring it back now, 245. Is that NDB kind of flipping around on us here? Slightly off to our right. But once that NDB flips around, 51 miles. Well, I'll tell you what, at this point, man, we can make it real easy on ourselves, and we'll just navigate inbound to Crestview. 115.9 and whatever course gets us tracking straight in. What is it? I said it. 115.9 is already in the standby. That's a lucky coincidence. Turn the course to whatever happens to center. Doesn't matter what the number is. Should be pretty close to what we've got dialed into the heading bug, however. In an ideal world, it would be exactly that, but it's not. And then we can flip this selector to distance, so we're 53 miles from that and tracking straight into it. just less than a quarter tank in our tips. Alright, so let's get a sense of our arrival plan here. After Crestview, this Charlie airspace goes to 4,200. We're at 45. So if we stay above it, and then, well, we're going to want to talk to Pensacola approach on 127.35. Coming from this way, 118.6, 127.35. That very well might not be staffed on VATSIM when we get down there. You have a ground controller on there, member of our flying club. But basically, as we approach the VOR, we would want to talk to the approach controller, let them know that we want to transition the Charlie from northeast into a full stop arrival at Pensacola International. If we don't have any air traffic control to speak to until we get to the ground, looks like the CTAF is 119.9. So I'm going to have that in the standby here. But the ground frequency is 21.9. I can see that a couple places. I can see that here. Let me get the ATIS information. Foxtrot 3010 visual to 17. Okay. Now, one interesting thing is 1735 will serve as the finish line. True heading at 258 at pattern altitude to cross the finish line. So we're gonna perpendicularly cross 17, and then we can basically maybe we'll make a right turn, enter a right downwind to land there. It's 22.8. 19.9 is the CTAF at Pensacola. 21.9 is the ground frequency at Pensacola, and then we're still monitoring guard on 21.5. Alright, so and if any approach controllers come online, we'll want to kind of recheck that status in about 40 miles. Missed the recycle bin. Almost hit a puppy. Alright, fuel is definitely dicey. That's the it factor for us here, guys. I've got this fantastic lead, and I may not have enough fuel to keep it. Although they are gaining on me, looks like. Best glides 105. In case I need it, best glides 105. Also kind of means I want to keep the altitude as long as I can, probably. Yeah, this might indeed be a fateful trip. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to sacrifice a little speed. Lean it out just a touch. That's going to cost us just a little bit of speed. You can see we've entered just a really shallow descent. And now if I'm going to trim it back out to keep 4,500, we'll see we'll probably probably lose a couple of miles an hour off of that. But that might be the difference in making it versus not making it. So 32 miles to the VOR. How much longer after the VOR? .34 miles after the VOR. So we got another 60 miles to go here. In order to finish the race properly, we're supposed to be at pattern altitude when we cross that runway. Pattern altitude, we'll assume, is 1100 thereabouts. Yeah, so see, running that leaner configuration, you can see not quite making the speed that we were, but that's okay. If it gets us there a little more fuel efficiently, and that's what we have to do in order to finish, and that's what we'll do. Looking like we got about 4 gallons overall left. Is that going to get us 50 miles? I don't know. $20 minutes?
Sheriff, this is no time to panic. This is the perfect time to
No,
panic.
this is definitely the perfect time to panic. On the far end, it looks like if we want to go straight, and we're going to kind of buzz this restricted airspace, but as long as we stay right of a 228 outbound radial, we should be fine.
Mike. What day is it,
Pattern
Mike?
altitude's 1500 at Pensacola? Okay. We'll plan on that then.
Stay on target. We're too close. They're right behind me. There. Stay on target.
We also need to be looking at glide options in case we don't make it. It looks like we've got a number of them, which is good. And 22 miles to the VOR, and then we're still 34 miles from there. Did I miscalculate? I guess I did. I mean, I wasn't supposed to be this tight. So, I mean, I guess the answer, kind of the obvious answer to that is yes. I certainly did not calculate it to crash in a field short of the destination, so I would say the answer to that is yes.
I just want to tell you both. We're all counting on you.
20 miles northeast of the VOR, not of the field. So we might be near this Florala Municipal. If we need a ditch, we should have that off to our right somewhere. Somewhere right in there. See the lake and then the town and the airport. Oh, there it is, right behind us. We got some of these private fields too we could ditch in an emergency. Yeah, we're down to the last few drops, I think. Yeah, right now I don't see anything landable. I'm probably going for this road. $15 miles from the VOR. Right around in here somewhere. Bob Sykes is off to our left. I don't know if I've got... .45% power will do it. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have the operating handbook in front of me to figure out what 45% power is. But yeah, reducing power probably a smart move. Trying to keep as straight a track as I can to that VOR. Miles. Okay, that looks like a landing site out there. That's probably that Bob Sykes. Oh no, wait a minute. What's this here? Okay, so that's that. I probably can make that if I needed to. You know what I'm going to do, guys? I'm going to land there. I'm going to do a refuel stop. This might cost us the race, but I'm going to do a refuel stop. Bob Sykes, 123.075. Bob Sykes traffic, Comanche 514 Delta Victor is about 5 miles north. We are setting up on a high, well, we'll do a circling entry to a left base to the southbound runway, Bob Sykes. Full stop, fuel emergency. Alright, friends, let's get some predictions into the chat in terms of the oh, there's the outer marker. Field elevation there is 214. Get some predictions into the chat as far as the descent rate upon touchdown. No bot command necessary. Minus sign is even optional. And closest predictor gets an automatic entry into our monthly landing rate raffle, bi-monthly landing rate raffle, and that drawing is going to occur on Tuesday's stream. Alright, we can get gear out. We're below 150. Bob Sykes traffic, Comanche 514 Delta Victor's on an extended left base to final for the southbound runway, full stop fuel emergency, Bob Sykes. First notch of flaps in. This will probably cost us the race, Melvin. I have a feeling our friends are going to pass us. Alright, 2 more notches of flaps. Gear is down. 2 more notches of flaps. I'm not going to add any extra drag until I'm kind of sure I've made the field here. Looking like we're kind of high. I'll keep the extra altitude just for the security. Bob Sykes, traffic, Comanche 514 Delta Victor is about a mile and a half final now for the southbound runway. Full stop, fuel emergency, Bob Sykes. By the way, it really probably shouldn't say fuel emergency on VATSIM. You're not really supposed to declare an emergency in non-controlled airspace. However, since I am not requesting priority over anyone else in order to do this, I'm not violating the spirit of the rule. Maybe violating the letter of it a little bit. Alright, last call for the predictions, guys. Maybe violating the letter of that rule a little bit, but not really violating the spirit, since I'm not trying to force my way in ahead of anybody. And coming in with a little extra altitude, a little extra speed. Rather have that. Bob Sykes, traffic, Comanche 514 Delta Victor, clear, runway 17, Bob Sykes. Alright, strobe, landing, taxi, pitot heat, and fuel pump off. We'll do a quick run up to the fuel box, shut off the engine, add some fuel. Oh, hush. Alright, I thought that was the tanks. We'll just pull up to the fuel truck here. Alright, parking brake on. Alright, mags off. Alright, we gotta hustle, guys. Now we're in jeopardy of losing our spot here. We got nothing. We got nothing and nothing. Okay. Let's take 10 gallons here in each side. Alright, and just for posterity's sake, I'll figure out who I owe the ticket to here in a moment. And then let's get on our way. Alright, beacon light on, nav light on, oh, battery, duh. Mix. Fuel pump. Probably doesn't need priming since we just shut it off. Clear, 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 clear. Alright, wheel pressure came back up. Windows closed. Avionics all back on. Fuel pump off. Alright, rest of that's good. Bob Sykes traffic, Comanche 514 Delta Victor is taxiing out to runway 17 for VFR westbound departure, Bob Sykes. Yeah, this pretty much cost us the race. I can see that the other three teams are pretty much right on top of us at this point. Iowa Scotsman gets the ticket? Okay, thanks guys.
It's not rigged, Kinney. You just lost.
Let's take off 17. And then immediate right crosswind. .214. Okay, altimeter's pretty close. Alright, no run up. We're going to take it on the roll. Strobes, landing light, taxi, pitot, and fuel pump on. Trim and flap set, mix full rich. I put the fuel in the mains, and then I'm still running on the tip tanks. Bob Sykes traffic, Comanche 514 Delta Victor, departing runway 17, VFR westbound, right-hand turnout. Bob Sykes. Takeoff power set. Miles an hour. Up we go. Ordinarily, you'd kind of keep the gear there until you were sure you didn't need that pavement, where we're going to go into drag up configuration ASAP. Bob Sykes traffic, Comanche 514 Delta Victor, clear runway 17 on the right hand, VFR westbound turnout, Bob Sykes. Alright, let's recalibrate the VOR needle. We want to go directly to that VOR. Bring the RPMs down. Gonna keep 2,000 here. And 24, full rich for now. 2,000 feet, let's level it. We're 6 east of the field at 22.8, and then what was CTAF at Pensacola? 19.9. I still got this? I doubt it. I doubt it. I think they're right on top of me. Plus, I keep trying to level at 2,000 and I can't. So now we'll just do 2,500. All right, after the VOR, we want 228 outbound. So there's a 230, 229, 228. I'm going to cut the corner. Go ahead and let it drop back to 2,000. Let's go ahead over to 19.9. We'll get ready to switch to ground. 21.9. All right, 22 and 22. Or 2,400 descending. E9. $228 and 34 miles. So there's a 230, there's a 228. I'm going to steer at 240. Looks like we're really flying at 235. Two, 3, 4, maybe even. Okay, so there's a 240. Now it looks like we're still flying actually at 238 or 239. Okay. Station Golf. 19211 gust 23. 3008. Visual 17. And we're going to come basically down the center line of 26 over top. And that's going to be our finish line there. When we get to this 9 miles, we're going to call 25 miles north of the airport. Pensacola traffic, Comanche 514 Delta Victor is about 25 miles northeast of the airport, 2,400 descending. We're going to cross midfield east to west, and then enter right downwind runway 17, full stop Pensacola. Right over top of one of these little Navy. We got these twin Navy fields that we're over top of one of. Is that our airport? I'm not sure that's the right one. Alright, so the one we're aiming for is just on the far side of this little bay. So I think I might be looking at this one here. Yeah, I know, guys. So I think I'm over top of this Santa Rosa, I think. I think our airport's just on the far side of that. So if we see this little river here, and then we got this bigger bay here, our airport's just on the far side. I think we're right over here somewhere. We're looking to be at 1,500 feet. And we know it's a 228 and 34 miles. So I'm a little bit left of course. Yeah, that's got to be that Santa Rosa. Yeah, that's 100% where I'm at right now. Right there. So a 240 for 15 miles. Pensacola traffic, Comanche 514 out to Victor, 15 miles north of Pensacola, 1,900 descending. Going to cross midfield east to west, and then a right downwind runway 17, full stop, Pensacola.
Pensacola traffic, November 124, Mike Charlie to Mooney. Same information, Pensacola.
Same position, same altitude, same direction, same intentions. That's great. That's a beautiful call, JPC. I love it. Okay, right over top of this road here. Oh my goodness. That's too funny. We do have an ILS or local 17 we can tune for wide slope guidance, although I think we're going to be doing a very non-standard approach. 111.1 and 169. Alright, sit tight guys, we're almost there. Oh, I see him. Is he gonna make the pass? He's gonna try. As that highway sweeps to the right, I gotta stay left of it. We got 300 more feet to lose. Just a touch extra power in. So there we are. We're gonna stay south of the bridge. Okay, I think there's our aiming point right there. Where's Mike? Lost him. Probably right over top of me. Pensacola traffic, Comanche 514 out to Victor is about 5 miles east, 1,700 descending. We're going to pass over midfield, east to west, and then in a right downwind runway 17, full stop, Pensacola.
Pensacola traffic, when you want to 4 Mike Charlie, same information.
Then we go 25 and 25. Let's try it. Oh, gotta be 1,500. Let's not get disqualified on the technicality. Let's get back up to 1,500. I might have it. Losing a little bit and having to climb back up. Oh no! Oh no, there he is. Photo finish. He's gonna be just ahead of me. Alright. Oh, it's so close. It's so close. Uh-oh. God, it's going to be like down to the nose here, guys. Neck and neck over the finish line. Oh my God. I don't even know how to call that one. I don't even know how to call that one. Pensacola traffic, Comanche 514 Delta Victor's east to west over the field. We're turning north for a right downwind runway 17 full stop Pensacola.
Pensacola traffic, 124 Mike Charlie falling behind the Comanche, right down for runway 17, Pensacola.
I have no idea how he's going to call that one. I know, right? Yeah. So funny. And if I had just put more fuel in, I'd have been fine. I'd have had him by miles if I had just put more fuel in. Alright guys, let's get some predictions into the chat as far as the descent rate upon touchdown. No bot command necessary, just a number into the chat, positive or negative. That'll represent your guesses to the descent rate at the moment the wheels touch the runway surface. Yeah, he might have. It was pretty much neck and neck. It was pretty much neck and neck, but I'll take the loss just because I had to make the fuel stop. That was my own arrogance. Cost me that one. Pensacola traffic, Comanche 514 Delta Victor's left, correction, right downwind to right base, runway 17, full stop, Pensacola. Alright, last call for the predictions, friends. Pensacola traffic, Comanche 514 Delta Victor, right base to final, runway 17, full stop, Pensacola. FBO's down on the left-hand side. So
Pensacola traffic, 124 Mike Charlie, right base, 17, Pensacola.
Oh, turning it in short, so. If we have to vacate quickly, I'll just get off of the right. It looks like the FBO's Corporate and General Aviation's okay. If I can get off the left, I will. If I need to get off quickly, get off to the right.
Pensacola traffic, moving 124, Charlie final, runway 17, full stop, Pensacola.
Yeah, we'll get off quickly. We'll get off to the right here. I want to put it on the numbers, and we'll get off by the touchdown zone.
All traffic, Diamond 309, that Romeo 10 to the northeast. Good old flight to 1,500 for a right down for 17. It's cool.
Oh well, didn't get off by the touchdown blocks, but get off by the next one. Pensacola traffic, Comanche 514 Delta Victor, clear runway 17, Pensacola. I'm going to park near the control tower for the picture, guys, if you want.
Roger.
Alright, flaps, strobe, landing taxi, piton fuel pump.
You have a ground controller, by the way.
Oh, forgot. Pensacola ground, Comanche 514 Delta Victor. I'm sorry, I forgot you were on. We are off at, I think we're on Alpha southbound, looking to park over by the control tower.
514 Delta Victor, Roger. Where is the control tower? I don't see it on my chart.
Looks like Alpha and Alpha 4 intersection will get us close.
Alright, 514 Delta Victor, continue on Alpha, cross runway 8 to Alpha 4.
Alright, continue straight Alpha, cross runway 8 to Alpha 4, 514 Delta Victor. And again, sorry for forgetting to call you.
Yeah, it's all good. Congratulations, guys.
.2 says they're giving it to me.
Good afternoon, moving 124, Charlie is off on, I believe.
I don't know. It looked pretty neck and neck to me.
Bravo here, and we'd like to taxi, or Alpha 2 even. We're going to taxi over to the tower.
Woody 124, Mike Charlie Roger, Pensacola ground, welcome. It's taxiway Alpha 4 is where he's parking, so continue on Alpha, cross runway 8 to Alpha 4.
Alpha cross 8 to Alpha 4, Woody 124, Charlie.
Okay, so there's Delta. And as Alpha 4 comes into the left, we got this service road. Probably though, this is more of a service road, I think. This is where employee parking is. So yeah, Chavez, man, you missed it. I decided to make a fuel stop, and I had apparently just enough time to do that and still come across the finish line, probably within meters of JPC. 26.2 says they're calling it in my favor. I don't know. It was basically neck and neck. Oops. Parking brake didn't take. There we go. Yeah, it was a fun one though. Oh, they've already posted it on the Discord. Did they have a spotter that was able to make the call? Yeah, we got a couple more to wait for. Josh called it in my favor. Very cool. Very cool. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and pull the throttles and mix and magnetos. Fuel pumps. Oh, should have turned the avionics off before I did that. Whoops. I know. Nav and beacon and battery can come off as well. So we can individually turn the radios off as well, which I should have done first, really. But there we are. We are shut down. We can wait for our... We got 2 more that are on the way in. So I think we wound up coming in pretty well ahead of them. Yeah, so we got one that's kind of on the downwind now. And then Alpha Papa is going to be the last one in. So we'll sit tight. We may not keep the stream running, but I'll sit tight just to let the photo op happen. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. So Josh, for setting that up. We truly appreciate it. And good time. Hopefully we'll do that again. Really, I have no... whoops. But, yeah. No critiques on how it was set up. I mean, I don't know how you did the weighting of the start times. It seemed like Melvin and I had a pretty good advantage. I don't know if that was due to miscalculation, or I don't know what you used as far as the speeds that you calculated the start times with. But I can't imagine Melvin and I executed that handoff that much better than everybody else, but maybe we did, I don't know. So, yeah, I don't know if there's a way to adjust the weighting so that it's a little closer at the end, but yeah, the fact that I had time for that fuel stop was was what made it very, very close at the end. So, but that worked out really perfectly, though. Didn't expect Melvin's plane to be so fast. Oh, okay, gotcha. Interesting. Okay, well, the addition of my fuel calculation arrogance equalized it, and it turned out pretty good. So we'll flew it like I rented it, said Melvin. Yeah, there you go. All right, so yeah, well, maybe we can tweak how the weighting works for future iterations. So this one magically worked out amazingly well, though, and yeah, good inaugural event, and a couple of little tweaks for the rest, and it'll be a fantastic time. So very good. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up. We'll wait for a couple more folks to pull up and get the finishing photo here, but I'm going to go ahead and wrap up. Let's take a moment to figure out our landing rate raffle entry winner on that last one was 75 is what registered. And it did more of a skim and a skip than a bounce, really. But 75 was the number that registered, so... Oh, nice. They've posted the photo finish in the race channel. Alright, so 75, 88, 43, 62, 65. 65 is 10 away. Bed Dave?
It's
anybody less than 85, so 26.2, 88, 13 away. Bed Dave, 10 away. So I think Bed Dave gets that last one. You guys told me Iowa Scotsman gets the one before. I'll scroll back and just make sure, although I very well trust you. Riggs, yeah, only 100 away is the Skinny Monster. Alright, so I think it's Iowa Scotsman and Bed Dave, so I'll get those taken care of. But guys, the next stream that we're going to do is the stream that we're going to pull the winners for these. So come back and check us out on Tuesday, 7 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, 2300 Zulu Time. That's when we're going to do some VATSIM air traffic control, probably in the Raleigh-Durham area. That's where I like to do a leisurely night worth of approach and departure control. But wherever I happen to end up, whether it's there or whether it's the Chesapeake sector up near Baltimore, or whether it's one of the other Charlies within Washington's ARTCC airspace, we will see you on Tuesday, 7 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, 2300 Zulu Time. I had a great weekend hanging out with you guys across the pond yesterday, the relay race today, and yeah, it was a lot of fun. I am going to go ahead. Who can I send the raid over to? I got a number of, looks like Jet Pilot Cinnamon's just about to wrap up his stream, I would imagine. let us go hit up Stu 222. STW 222 is doing Atlanta to Orlando, so we'll go ahead and shoot him a raid. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday with him. Tell him Slant Alpha sends his love, guys. We'll see you. Oh, JPC already ended. Okay. Yeah, we'll hit up Stu. So yeah, Stu 222 for the remainder of your Sunday, and then we will see you Tuesday night, 7 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, 2300 Zulu Time. So between now and then, have a great rest of your weekend, friends. Enjoy the weather if you've got it to enjoy. And either way, we will see you Tuesday evening from the Tracon room of the Raleigh-Durham air approach and departure facility, or wherever else we end up. But be happy, healthy, and safe in all of your own travels and adventures between now and then. We will talk to you soon. Good night, guys.